Hello, this is Douglas Bell, and I want to welcome you to our first episode of Stillness Speaks. This is a series within Ringing the Bell YouTube channel where we explore the quiet wisdom that arises when we pause, breathe, and listen inward. In these conversations, I'll be sitting down with fellow meditators and seekers to reflect on the role stillness plays in our lives, how it helps us navigate suffering, discover clarity, and reconnect with our deeper selves. Today, I have a really close friend of mine. Her name is Vicki Glenn. She is a fellow meditator. I've probably been knowing her for close to 20 years, but today she's going to offer insight into how mindfulness and presence can shape the way we live our lives, love, and move through the world. So together, we're going to talk about meditation, the lessons that emerge from silence, and how stillness can guide us toward greater compassion and understanding. So, hey, Vicki, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Good to see you, Douglas.
Good to see you as well. So what you been doing today?
Oh, today was still adjusting to the spring forward or whatever they call it. But
Yeah, they got me today.
so, yeah, some gardening was in the mix. So, some weeding around the temple and walking the dog, and then just taking care of some personal tasks. So, it's been a little busy, but not too much.
So now, what is your official title at the Houston Zen Center?
Well, my official title is I'm one of the co-tantos, and which means head of practice. So I help um, just guiding practice and meeting other people and welcoming them to the center. And I also am a resident here, along with our abiding teacher Galen Roshi and assistant priest Royce. So there are three of us that are residents here at the temple, and so yeah, that's kind of my main role here. I am a Zen priest, and do some teaching here at the center, mainly around sewing some ceremonial Buddhist robes.
And that is what you are wearing around your and the brown that you're wearing around your neck.
That is, it's a you can't see all of it, but it's a rakasu. I'll just kind of hold it up like this, which means small robe, small uh, a representation of the robe that the Buddha wore. So it's a rakasu coming from our Japanese lineage and history.
Okay, yes, yes, yes. I have my rocket. Matter of fact, my rocket suit is at the Zen Center, I believe, versus here at home. Yes. So now I'm curious though, real quick, we're gonna real quick. So
Mhm.
how were you raised? What faith tradition were you raised under?
I was raised in a Christian tradition, I guess mainly within the Southern Baptist uh, thread, and so that was my main, uh, I guess main. I didn't think of it as a spiritual practice at that age, through my childhood and teens.
Yeah, that's true.
But it was what we did, and what that's my family's tradition, and still is.
Right.
And but then that shifted uh in my early, kind of during my college years, and
Oh,
especially after my college years, shifted um into Buddhism.
oh wow. You actually kind of compared to some people, you're kind of early. Got to it kind of young then.
Well, yeah, maybe, I guess so. I guess I was really getting into it like right at 2000, 2001.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
it
Which is about the time that we met.
uh-huh.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's true. So yeah, so just to kind of I don't know, just kind of ground the viewer into who you are and how you came, where you currently at within the Houston Zen Center, which is now in its what 20, what are we in, 26 years, 25 years?
Past 25, maybe getting close to 30.
Oh, are we really? Yeah, well, you know what? I guess I'm thinking under Galen.
Well, that would be 2000, yeah, close to 2001 or 2003.
Yeah, so I guess that's where yeah, I was kind of under Galen versus, I guess, as a 501(c), but or as a formal organization. So here's something I wanted to ask you. What has meditation taught you about letting go?
Hmm. Um, well, I think that those things that I try and hang on to, they're going to change,
Hmm.
and in some way, the letting go happens, sometimes with great resistance,
Yeah,
sometimes not.
yeah.
But trying to hang on to something, it's going to get slippery. It's going to change in some way.
Hmm. That's true. Which when I think about so many of us come to meditation and Buddhism during very difficult times in our lives.
Mhm.
Do you really think this ideal of being aware of letting go has helped during your moments of suffering?
I think so, and not to, I guess for me in my practice, not to, I guess, confuse or there's a difference between letting go and getting rid of. It's not a
Ah,
practice of getting rid of.
yes.
It's a practice of transforming my thinking. The teachings are that, in this wonderful human form that we're in, that I'm in, I have, as a human, I have that propensity for greed and hate and delusion. And it's so finding those ways of transforming my thinking and my actions so they're not, riddled with those things that cause harm, those things, that can cause harm in that way.
And that's interesting. I like the fact you were so very clear about, you know, it's not about getting rid of. And on this ideal of misconceptions, um, I've met a number of people at book festivals that talk about they can't control their minds.
Mm.
And I've talked about this being a misconception. Have you heard that before? Is that a misconception that you've seen before when people come to the Zen Center talking about meditation? What kind of misconceptions have you seen around meditating?
I mean, that's certainly one of them, and it's certainly one of them that in my own practice can subtly can come up again and again, um,
Hmm.
and because um, it's in some ways it's part of our nature, and so it's not uh, trying to control. It's looking at the habits of our minds and our thinking,
Hmm.
and working with that to just notice, am I trying to grab onto something, am I resisting something,
Hmm.
um am I trying to manipulate this thought so that it you know has this essence of permanence, which is impossible.
Right, right. Yeah, and I've also had someone tell me one time, well, I should be happy. I'm not happy when I meditate. It was yeah, you get a number of people that really have some very like very I don't know, do I say very black and white, like either it's this or it's that. And I think for me, I just would love to get your take on that because I guess a number of times I really tried to talk people away from this label because all of these connotations come along with these labels. And I guess just to kind of say, well, Vicki, can it be that can it just exist? Without, well, I should be a certain way because it exists or it doesn't exist. I don't really know what I'm trying to say here.
I think, sitting down, as we call it here, zazen, just sitting in meditation is allowing our entire being, not just our mind, but our body, our mind and body, to sit down and just sit and and be in a space that during that period of time we can watch the flow of our thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I'm going to get involved in it and
Mm,
grab onto it in such a way that I can notice and I can continue to sit with. Or if I'm having, a sensation or a feeling that's distressing, I can be in a space where I can sit with that and sit beside it and welcome it, and that is what is coming up in this moment, and I allow it to be there without trying to push it around or shove it
mm-hmm.
around or hide it, uh,
Mm-hmm.
but allowing it to be there, and
Because there really is a desire to want to control it, isn't it?
oh, absolutely.
Yeah, it really is a desire to want to control it. Um, yeah, I think that's been one of the most interesting conversations that I've had with
Yeah.
a number of people who have stopped me and have asked about meditation, is
Mhm.
that, well, I'm just not doing it right. And I quit. I quit because I'm not doing it right. And I always walked away from them or from that conversation thinking, well, you only quit because you were perceiving it. You had this ideal of what it should be. Um, and because it wasn't, I guess, lining up with how you feel it should be, you kind of you got frustrated and you walked away. And I guess I was trying to get people not to attach this ideal of what it's supposed to be,
Mhm.
especially when you just kind of just started. Nothing's going to happen, or if you're looking for some miracle overnight.
Yeah, and that's where I guess, we use the word sangha around here a lot, which is the community of people. So that's where, sitting with others and being in community and in relationship with other people is so important because, we're it's easy to get into a space of this must be only me. I'm the only one having trouble with my meditation. I can't do it. But yet we bring in the community and the support of the sangha, and it's like we realize, oh yeah, me too, and me too, and we how do we support each other? Well, sometimes we just support each other. We just sit beside each other in meditation, and
Correct.
there's a tremendous amount of support in that, or having
Hmm.
conversations about it. Um, over tea or something, but that's where meditating with others is so beneficial, whether it's in person, and there are so many offerings for people now, whether it's in person with meditation groups or especially post COVID, there are still many
Zoom.
Zen temples at least still offering online
Hmm.
meditation
Hmm.
schedules and
Um,
support.
right. So let me ask you this. Has meditation changed the way that you relate to other people? Not only, I guess, in general, not necessarily in our sangha, in our community, but just in general. Has meditation changed how you relate to other people?
Yeah, yes. I think I can, what comes up to me um still very vividly is I used to, I spent 29 years teaching middle schoolers,
Oh,
and,
wow.
it really, as my meditation practice continued to grow and I continued to study, it really there was a benefit for me and my students, because I could it's about meeting someone face to face and dropping any history
Mm.
I have with them, for whether in a positive realm or a negative realm, but just the opportunity to remember that I'm meeting this person for the first time, even if we just said hello. Part of the teaching is this is we are dynamic beings, and constant change and flux and flow, and but reminding myself to, when I'm meeting someone, it's this is the first meeting.
Mm-hmm.
And when I look at myself in the mirror, here's my first meeting with this Vicki that's arising right now.
Right.
And kind of just being able to let go, especially in familiar relationships, let go of history
Right.
in a way that kind of tries to put little gaps of separation in the relationship.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So what I hear you saying, it's about being present.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know who made this quote. Uh, the greatest form of love is being present, something like that. That's what makes me kind of think of that. And
Mm-hmm.
so you're totally right that my meditation practice has allowed me to be aware maybe when I'm not being present, when I can think, when it hits my brain that I'm not present, then all of a sudden I kind of go, oh, and then the intentionality of
Yeah.
being present, showing that love
Mm-hmm.
that you have with that person, even the person that you don't know,
Yeah.
then it reveals itself, it comes to bear. But
Mm-hmm.
you're right. You to me, the meditation has given me the awareness to stop and go, oh, I'm not being present.
And there's space and time to do that. there's there's space and time to really be present with someone, um in a way that if there's tension in the meeting, there's space and time to respond skillfully and
Mhm.
to react. And that's part of the cultivation on the cushion or the chair, or
Right,
how one is meditating, whether
right.
sitting on a cushion or in a chair or lying down or standing, um, but cultivating that space to allow the clarity, or to allow the stillness to be in there, so that um, or so that I can respond in a way that is skillful and doesn't
Mhm.
cause harm.
Right. Um, the other day, I was talking with someone, and I said one of the biggest benefits that meditation has offered me is practicing patience.
Mm.
What would be one of the biggest things for you that you feel like after 20 years of meditating? What do you think one of the biggest things that you have walked away with? My ability to sit with my life. It may not always be easy, but I've gotten better at it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So what stands out for you?
I think allowing myself and others to be different than what I think,
Mm,
moment
mm,
um and to allow that range of, I guess, not holding to some fixed idea or some fixed view, um about myself or about a situation or a relationship.
hmm Okay. Yeah, no, that totally makes sense. Yeah, totally makes sense. I'm totally with you. Um, Here's a good question. What advice would you give to someone who's curious about meditation, but doesn't know where to begin?
Hmm. Oh, I think I think I would if I knew the person fairly well. I think I would offer just starting with 1 or 2 minutes
Hmm.
of setting aside 1 or 2 minutes of the day, whether it's at home or in the car or on a park bench, but just to set aside a short amount of time and really and just sit and to be aware of the breath
Hmm.
and notice what's coming up, and as much as possible, but just allow the breath to just move in and out, just like the thoughts are moving in and out.
Hmm.
So
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny that I think I, I said the same thing, and I think I said 5 minutes. But the young lady in front of me, she's kind of like, I was like, yeah, it doesn't have to be any more complicated. Yeah, it's you know,
mhm.
this is about, you run, this is a journey. This is not something, this is not a plane you're going to land tomorrow. This is about just kind of, taking a look and then you land again, and you take out, you kind of, and so, yes, I totally agree with you. I do think it can start, it can be just as simple as 1 or 2 minutes. Um, any thoughts though about meditation apps?
I haven't, well, I guess I haven't used any, so I'm not familiar with any, except I know there's some like meditation timers,
Yes.
with bells, and maybe I have used one of those from time to time. um I haven't really tried any meditation apps.
Hmm.
um uh our Zen practice is not necessarily guided meditation, so it's
Correct.
sitting in silence, although there are times when that comes in a little bit. It's not a main focus
Right.
of Zen practice,
Right.
but may be very helpful, um, and is very helpful for people.
Hmm. I'm like you. I've never really, I guess because I mean, I, I've only been meditating now, what, for maybe right at 30 years. So I'm gonna laugh with you and say, I'm kind of old school. But so I've never really tried them either. I do agree with you. I have come across bells, from a timer standpoint. But
Right.
but I'm like you. I'm not really, if you look at the different types of meditation, I don't think me and you, can I say, grew up. We grew up meditating through guided
Hmm.
meditation. So it's kind of maybe foreign to us in some ways.
Yeah.
But to your point, it all has a purpose, and all, you know, yeah, it all has its place.
Hmm.
Yes. Um, what would you say to someone who feels they are bad at meditating?
um Welcome to the club. And
Yes, that is so true. Yes, welcome to the club. That is so true.
yeah, and I would say, okay, and that's one idea, and here's an opportunity to try on a different idea. We have so much choice in how we influence our thinking. So there is some, we give ourselves a framework, um and then we can say, oh, that was horrible, and okay, well, let me try on a different idea.
Right.
Let me think of it, how could I think of it differently? Um, so
Yes. So which kind of takes us back to when we were talking earlier about how things are being framed. And because of the way it's being framed, that then brings about certain connotations and certain thoughts.
mhm.
Um, and what I hear you saying is that does that moment necessarily have to be labeled as bad or good? And can I add a piece if it's not harming someone?
Mm,
Is that fair, Vicky?
yeah. I mean, we're labeling things constantly. It's necessary for
Right.
us to function in our, day-to-day life is to, categorize and label and it helps keep us safe. It helps keep others safe. So we're doing that all of the time. And uh and we're so good at it, we kind of turn it in on ourselves.
Oh, yeah.
And so that's where um there's our mind is another sense organ. It's we have our eyes and our ears and our mouth and our hands, and we have our mind. It's another organ that's trying to navigate in the world.
Hmm.
And often we can we can we can take it too personally.
Right. Right. That is so true. So, any parting thoughts around meditation that you feel, I don't know, just would kind of maybe help just the average person that kind of says, "Oh, I want to try this. I've tried it before, and I'll try it again." Just any kind of parting thoughts or words or advice.
I think that let's see. As we talked about a little earlier, it's not about controlling our mind. It's not about trying to control our experience, but really, meeting this precious human life,
Hmm.
moment by moment. And
Hmm.
um, kind of with each moment, we get to say, welcome back, over and over and over again. We have that opportunity to remind ourselves to come back into into the present, come back into relationship with it.
Hmm.
And it's not an alone event.
Right.
Whether one is meditating, um they're the only one meditating in their home, or they're meditating with a group of people. um we're all being supported
Hmm.
all the time.
Hmm. Hmm. That's true. That is so true. So, Vicky, at Houston Zen Center, what are your well, let me ask you this. Do we have what are any can you or do you remember, can you tell me any classes that you all are having at the Zen Center here in the next few weeks? What's coming up?
Well, some good ways to step in, at least to the Houston Zen Center. Every Wednesday we offer a 1 hour intro. So the first Wednesday of every month from 6:30 to 7:30, um, a senior practitioner will lead it's open to anyone, just a little introduction to meditation
Hmm.
and to the center. So that's just kind of a little, you know, dip in the water, so to speak. It's just, a very informal meeting and just a little glimpse. And then our abiding teacher, Galen, and assistant priest, Reverend Royce, they lead a wonderful intro to Zen meditation. It goes all year. It's like a 5 week cycle
Hmm.
throughout the year. Um, And so that's offered. I think the next one will begin, I think, March 19th. Those are on Thursday nights.
Okay.
And so that those are two introductory ways. And then we have a meditation schedule. So usually if it's someone's first time, usually a good way to dip into first time at a Zen temple would be like our Saturday morning meditation or our Sunday program.
Right.
And those are also some Zoom offerings, so people can kind of get a glimpse of Houston Zen Center through, through our Zoom offerings, the meditation schedule.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. Thank you for telling me that. Yes, and I'm glad we're still doing the Zoom,
Mhm.
despite we're out of COVID, but I'm glad we have continued that. So Vicki, I want to tell you thank you for taking out your time and wanting to talk about meditation and how Buddhism and how it all kind of fits together. As much as we really didn't talk about the tenets and the foundation of Buddhism, it's in there. It's in how we look at things. It is a part of what strengthens our meditation practice, helps make sense of our meditation practice. Um, so I want to tell you thank you for being with me today. I really do appreciate this, and I do want you to have a good rest of the day. Okay?
Oh, thank you. It's been a pleasure. It's been good to visit with you in this format. And
Yes, it has been.
yeah,
All
thank you.
right. All right. Take care.
You too.
Okay.